All right, so in this lesson, we are going to be looking at dealing with relapse. Dealing with relapse. When you go through the difficult recovery journey and come out clean, you have something or you have a lot to feel good about. That's the truth. When you go through this whole journey of overcoming addiction, when you go through this whole journey and you come out clean, as some of you are right now, you have a lot to feel good about. I know there are some of you that used to masturbate maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a day. You see porn every day, but for the past 2 weeks that we have been dealing with this, how to overcome sexual addiction, we have not seen porn at all, or maybe you've seen it just once and you used to see like 4 times a day or 15 times a week or 10 times a week, but at least for 2 weeks you have seen just once. So you are happy that, oh God, this is already overcoming this thing already, or I've overcome this thing already. So going through this difficult recovering journey and coming out clean, you have a lot to feel good about. Yet you might still feel the fear of relapsing. You might still feel the fear of relapsing. And I want you to know that anytime there is this fallback, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. You don't have to feel like you are not doing well. You don't have to give up on your recovering journey when there is relapse. The truth is that relapse is an important part of your recovering journey. Yeah, I make bold to say that. Relapse is an important part of your recovering journey. There is rarely a time you see someone dealing with addiction who is trying to overcome that will not fall back once or twice before they finally come out. Is the truth. Except those that maybe it was like a demonic influence and then someone just prayed for you with the grace and the anointing, and the demon is cast out of your life and it's gone forever. Outside that, if it's just a habit that you build over time, you will still need time to overcome this habit. And most of the time there is this falling back, there's this relapse that happen in your overcoming journey. And as I said before, relapse is an important part of your recovery journey. So when you fall back into the addiction, something you used to do maybe 5 times a week, 10 times a week, 15 times a week, and for the past 2 weeks that we have been on this journey, you only see yourself do it once. I want to tell you not to beat yourself up. I want to tell you that it is part of the journey. I have seen people who option out of their addiction recovery journey just because they fall back once. You don't have to do that. I remember someone sent me a text some time ago in the middle of the night. I woke up to pray and I picked up my phone and I saw that text message. It says, Sister Kate, I did it again. I told you this will never work. And I was like, no, it will work. It's going to work and it's already working. That is why you're even feeling bad about it. As we talked about addiction before, I told you that addiction is when you get to a stage of, doing something and you are now more like damning the consequences. You are no longer aware of the consequences, even though there are a lot of psychological and physical consequences. You engage in the habit of sniff a substance with no concern about the consequences no more. That is when you know it's an addiction. So the fact that you are now concerned about what is going on, when you fall back, you feel bad, you feel you shouldn't be doing this and everything, is actually a proof that you are recovering, you are coming out, you are overcoming that addiction already. All right, so don't beat yourself up when there is relapse. I want you to feel relaxed this evening and understand that relapse is a part of your recovering journey. And as I'm going to be teaching you about relapse this evening, and it's going to help you know how to deal with relapse. And as time goes on, you've gotten a lot of value on how to overcome sexual addiction. And as I said before, it's something you are going to continue practicing. You have to keep practicing it until you see yourself after some time. You will even be the one to try to remind yourself that, oh, I used to masturbate, it happened to me, or I used to watch pornography, or I was addicted to this. You will see that you will not do it for such a long time that you will even forget that you used to be addicted to this thing. So just keep practicing. And when there is relapse, I tell you again, don't beat yourself up, just relax. So I'm about to teach you about how to deal with relapse this evening. Okay, what is relapse? What is relapse? Relapse is when a person returns to using a substance or returns to a habit after recovering. That is what it means. Relapse is when a person returns to using a substance or returns to a habit after recovering. As we said before, for the past 2 weeks, we've been learning a lot, and many of you have recovered already. But then, after some time, you may see yourself go back to that habit or go back to that substance after recovering. That is what relapse is. We have 2 stages of relapse. We have the traditional relapse and we have the free lapse. Then the traditional relapse is when someone makes a conscious move to return to a substance or a habit. It's when you make the conscious move within yourself. You understand that you feel this craving for this thing. And we talked about letting go of your triggers, moving away from it. We've told you how to handle cravings and everything. And maybe you just choose not to ignore everything you have been taught and decide by yourself consciously to go back to this addiction or to go back to this habit or this substance. That is traditional relapse. Relapse is when you accidentally relapse, when an accidental relapse happened. That is relapse, when a person unintentionally returns to a habit or substance. When you unintentionally return to a habit or substance. Remember, I told you how to clean up your room, how to clean up your phone and your laptops. If some of you ignore, that is why we take this thing stage by stage. Because sincerely, this is a recovering journey. It has to be done intentionally. I've told you many times before. And we do it step by step. If you ignore the part of dealing with the triggers, the part of starving your triggers, then you are going to have a problem in this stage. You are going to relapse. You are going to, like, you have set yourself up for relapse already if you ignore the part of starving your triggers. Do you understand now? So people who unintentionally fall back into an addiction are people who ignore the stage of starving their triggers. You have to clean up your phone. If you watch porn and you have some of these pornographic videos served in your phone, in your laptop, you have these half-naked women pasted in your rooms. I talked about even if it's a normal Nollywood movie, but there are lots of explicit content. You shouldn't see it. I talked about your social media. If you're following someone who always dresses half-naked or always trigger you to watch pornography or to masturbate or to go, sleep around, you have to unfollow them. We talked about starving your triggers so much. So if you ignore that stage, then you are setting yourself up for relapse. You can just fall back unintentionally, because you can walk into a room and see a half-naked woman and your body begins to react to it. But if you have dealt with the stage of cleaning up your space and everything and starving your triggers, then relapse may not really happen for you. So those are the two stages, or those are the two types of relapse. Those are the two types of relapse. Now, we have three stages of relapse. We have three stages of relapse. Relapse happen in three stages. The two types is the traditional relapse and the relapse. And now, relapse happen in three stages. It starts, there is something that will happen along the line, and then you fall back completely. Now, these are the three stages of relapse. The emotional relapse stage. This begins long before you pick up a substance or return to a habit. At this stage, you may begin to battle with your emotions in an unhealthy way. You may begin to bottle up your feelings, isolate yourself from others. If this is not properly managed, then it will lead to the second stage of relapse. So this is the emotional stage. You have been addicted for such a long time. You have been struggling with this addiction for such a long time, and it's now like a part of your life. Some of you, this thing you are addicted to has now been like your routine. It's now part of your daily life. A day has not gone by, maybe the past 5 years, the past 10 years, that you do not engage in this habit or sniff that substance. So it's not like a part of your life. So it's normal that now that you have not done it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you are planning by the grace of God not to do it forever. It's normal that at this point that you have not done it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you are still emotionally attached to what you used to do. So sometimes you sit down and you start feeling bad. You feel as if something is missing in your life. It's normal. That is going to happen to you because you are trying to free yourself from something that's been a part of your life for so long. So you are going to feel as if you are missing out. You feel as if something is missing out of your life. You feel as if you just miss those moments. That is emotional relapse. So if this stage is not properly managed, it will lead to the second stage of relapse. And the second stage of relapse is a mental relapse stage. Here, you start holding conflicting feeling about being clean. While a part of you wants to remain clean, another part of you is battling the cravings. You understand now? Now it has gone beyond you feeling emotionally attached to what you used to do. Your brain is now, battling with it. If I should go back or I should stay clean. That's why I told you before that whenever you have this feeling that I need to be free from this addiction, that is the time to take action. Because the truth is, if you allow yourself, you will see that sometimes you begin to find reason again, justifications again to stay in that addiction. So now that you have taken this step thus far, it's a proof that you want to be clean and you're going to remain clean. clean. So the mental relapse stage is a stage that you now begin to hold conflicting feelings. You now begin to battle between being clean and going back to the addiction. Now, the difference between the emotional and the moral relapse is that the former, you really aren't aware of what is going on with you. You just start feeling lonely. You just start feeling isolated. You even be confused of why you feel that way, because you feel that the state you have taken to be clean is actually the right state. But why am I still emotionally connected to what I'm running away from? So that is a stage of the emotional relapse. But then, in the stage of the mental relapse, you are fully aware of your cravings for that substance or your urge to go back to that behavior. That's the difference. The emotional relapse, you are even confused. You are asking yourself why you feel the way you feel. You feel like lonely. You feel you should isolate yourself. You miss, those times. But in the mental relapse stage now, you are fully aware that I feel like going back to this substance, or I feel like going back to this habit. You are aware of your cravings, and there is this contemplation in your brain to either to go back or to stay clean. And then the third and the very last stage of relapse is a physical relapse. This one involves the final action. What begins with emotional relapse and proceeds to mental relapse has now grown to a full-blown relapse. So that is why at this stage, you might be in the emotional relapse stage, you might be in the mental relapse stage. You have to manage these two stages carefully and manage it well by dealing with your cravings and dealing with your triggers and every other thing we have said before now, so that you will not fall back. You will not go back to the physical relapse stage, because if you go back completely, you have to start this journey all over again. And I know you wouldn't want to do that. You've already learned about the effect of addiction in your life, your destiny, your family, your social life, and everything. And I'm sure that the years you have wasted just struggling with this addiction, you don't want to go back to it. So in this last stage, this is the physical relapse stage. Please do not allow it to get to this stage. Do all you need to do. Watch the videos all over again. Put whatsoever has been taught you into practice, so that you will not get to this stage. Now, what are the risk factors of relapse? What are the risk factors of relapse? Why? Because let's just repeat this again. I know we've said it before. Why do people relapse? What are the causes of relapse? Number one is exposure to triggers. That is like the common cause of relapse, exposure to triggers. That's why before we got to this space, I've told you to clean up your space, and I'm sure a lot of you did. So exposure to triggers is one or the major cause of relapse. Stress, high level of stress with poor coping skills. You have to find a way to cope with stress, because sometimes people use porn, and people who masturbate, I have spoken with a lot of them. They will say that I use it to relieve stress. You have to look for other healthy ways to do that, so that you will not relapse, because your job might be what is stressing you, the traffic, whatever it is. When you come home, you want to feel relaxed. So you have to look for other healthy ways to feel relaxed, so that you will not go back. Negative emotions such as anger, depression, boredom, work, marital issues, relationship issues cause people to go back, because remember, this addiction has been like making you happy for so long, even though there have been a lot of consequences, but it gives you this short time pleasure moment. So whenever you are going through stressful moments, you might feel like going back. So you really need to find other healthy ways to cope with stress, so that they will not be relapse. Interpersonal problems, conflicts with family and friends has been found to be involved in more than 50% of all relapse. I know people that when they have conflicts with their family and friends, when you have issues with people outside, people that are not your blood, there is a way you manage it. You can even feel like, what do I care? But when you have issues with your family, there's a way it gets to you differently. It strikes you in a different way. Your brain, your whole, sometimes you even begin to feel like you are not good enough. You begin to feel, why is my own family fighting me or something? So I know people who go back to their addiction because of conflicts with family and friends. And research shows that it has been found to be involved in more than 50% of all relapse. All right. The next thing that causes relapse is peer pressure. That's the truth. I said it before in the previous video. I said, separate yourself from any friend that takes you back to your addiction. You just think about how addiction has affected your life. You just think about how addiction has affected your social life, your work, and many other things that you know that addiction has done to you. Think about it and choose yourself over those friends that take you back to what you are running away from. So separate yourself. Make sure you don't go back to that gathering that will cause you to want to try that substance again, or want to go back to that habit again. Lack of social support. Lack of social support. I told you before, I said I am here, and there is a community for you on Facebook. There's a community for you on WhatsApp. You can reach out to all the mentors. There are mentors there. Reach out to us anytime. We are here to support you all the way, anytime, any day, any moment. Just send a message and we are here. Positive mood, positive emotions are also risk factors for relapse. Have you seen people that when they are so happy, they pick up a bottle of beer, or they just pick up, they are just too excited and just pick up, one hard drug and just want to get high. So it's not only negative emotions that cause relapse, even positive emotions. So you need to put yourself, you need to control yourself, you need to understand your body, know what to do and what not to do. What do you do in order to avoid or overcome relapse? How do you overcome relapse? Practically, how do you overcome relapse? Number one, avoid triggers. We have said this over and over and over again. It's as if 50% of your recovery journey lies around cleaning up your space, starving your triggers, and avoiding your triggers. Before you add every other thing, you just have to do that. That is the part that you need to play. You cannot be emotionally attached to what is killing you. Do not keep it and say, what if I will need it one day? If you gather all those porn videos and then you keep them in one file in your laptop, or just put them somewhere and say, what if I need them one day? Sincerely, you are not ready for this journey. That's the truth. If you are ready, you will clean up your space completely and delete all those things. So avoid your triggers. Number two, attend a self-help group or speak to someone that is non-judgmental. In the previous video, I mentioned your pastor, I mentioned your parent, I mentioned your senior friends, your mentors, someone that is less judgmental. And I also say you can speak to me, all right? So speak to someone, attend a self-help group, or speak to someone. Set healthy boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. We spoke about not going back to people who always drag you back to habits you are running away from. Set healthy boundaries. Engage in self-care. Take care of yourself emotionally and physically. Take care of yourself emotionally and physically. All right? If you need to go out, go out. If you need to see a movie, see a movie. If you need to, eat something, probably you feel like I should go to an eatery, get something that I've not eaten in a long time. You have the money. Do that. Take care of yourself. Don't allow yourself to stay home, lock yourself in a room, and then you begin to feel bored. You begin to feel as if the whole world has rejected you, and then that addiction is your only consolation and all. No, do not do that. Take care of yourself. Engage in self-care. Develop a relapse prevention plan. Develop a relapse prevention plan. Now, this is how you do that. Consider writing a detailed plan that outline your triggers, and write down 3 coping skills to help you deal with it. All right? You may consider bringing out your paper right now. Write your triggers. Write a detailed plan outlining your triggers, and on the other side, write 3 coping skills to help you deal with your triggers. You can also include a list of people you can quickly contact for help when this craving becomes so much that you feel you can't deal with it anymore. You can quickly write down a list of people too. Add to the 3 coping skills. Write a list of people you can easily reach when this craving becomes so hard that you think you cannot control it anymore. And do not forget, I say it again, you can always reach out to me. So I want to congratulate you. I really, really, really feel I should congratulate you. You are doing great. If you have come this far, oh my God, nothing at all can stop you from overcoming addiction. You are an overcomer already, and cheers to you. Right? I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. All right. So you may want to share a little bit of your story on addiction before you register for this workshop, and how this workshop has helped you overcome. I've helped you recover. You may want to share the story. You can make a video or just write a PDF. If you would like us to feature your story in our page, you can as well reach out. Just write it and post it on the WhatsApp group, or you can send it to me directly. And if you want me to feature it in our page, you are free. You want me to put it on our YouTube page, Facebook page, Instagram page, just let me know and we will do all of that. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I also share a little bit of my additional story in my book, My Regrets Were More Than My Gains. That book is on Amazon, and the book is also on Okada Books. All right, you may want to pick a copy. A lot of details of the stories there. I know that during the course recording, I actually share the story here and there, I just, but the detail of the story is in that book. You may want to pick it up. It will help you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Congratulations. Bye.